I'm Leon Todd for G66. Welcome to another Tuesday Tone Tip video. Today's video actually marks 3 years of this Tuesday Tone Tip series here on the G66 channel, and I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you and offer up my blocks library for free. If you check the video description, there is a download link to a zip folder with my blocks library in there. Once you've unzipped that, you can come up to the editor, go to settings, preferences, and the workspace tab. Then under this little library section here, you want to hit browse and direct your computer to that folder that you downloaded. Once you've done that, just right click anywhere on the grid, go to library and refresh library. Once you've done that, you'll be able to go somewhere like, say, the amp block, click in here and have access to all of my blocks. So let's build up a preset using this blocks library. This is basically the way I build presets from scratch 90% of the time. So let's start off with a basic clean Fender sound in here. This uses the Band Commander amp model. And on channel B, let's go for something Marshall related. I'll go for this 77 JMP Crunch over here. I'll go back to channel A. Let's pair that up with two different selections in the cab block. I've got a clean Dynacab blend that I like using the EV12s, and on channel B we can go to, say, the Crunch Dynacab, which uses this 1960 TV cab. You can see in there, there's already the Dynacab position set. In the preamp tab, there are the high and low cuts, and I've played with the align function. I've done a video about that align function as well on here if you want to learn more about it. But the idea here is that you shouldn't have to tweak too much. You might just need to adjust the gain levels and maybe the EQ on the amps to get what you want. I'll just add a reverb at the end of the chain as well. And again, I'll give you two different options to get started. My favorite one is this everyday plate using the London plate. And then on channel B, let's go for something lush. I'm going to go for this lush studio over here. So let's hear the combination of the Fender clean with this clean Dynacab and my everyday plate. Then I will switch over to that kind of lush studio reverb. It's really, really easy. We'll add some other effects blocks to that clean sound in just a second, but I want you to hear this crunchy Brit 800 with the Crunch Dynacab. And again, I'll let you hear it with the London plate reverb. I'll go to the humbucker mode on this PRS DGT SE. Now, of course, these are designed as starting points. This guitar is particularly bright, so I might knock the treble back just a little bit. I feel like a little bit more gain at the moment, so I will turn that up. I could add plenty more blocks to this. For example, if I wanted a delay, the delay probably has the most options in my blocks library. It's a big one, as you can see here. Everything from panning delays to jewel delays to more subtle slapbacks. Let's chuck on this TC2290 pan delay. Now, I wouldn't mind a little bit of extra drive up the front of that for a lead sound, so let's add a drive block up the front, and there's several options in here. One of my favorites is just this clon set up as a clean boost. Let's hear that. That's a pretty sweet combo there. Of course, I've got the channels feature in here, so I can pair up different amps, cabs, and say delays or drive. So in the drive, I've got this Crowther hotcake block dialed up. We'll hear that in a second. I'm back on the clean Fender. I'll let you hear a few different delay options first. So I'll let you hear this kind of Korg SDD 3000 setup for a rhythmic delay. Then there is this kind of fun glitchy tape delay. And then finally a Van Halen style dual delay back here. Let's hear all of those options. In fact, before I do that, I wouldn't mind a compressor on the clean sound. So I go to the compressor block here and I'll just chuck on this everyday comp, which uses the Studio feed-forward compressor. So let's hear the different delays now. Another really fun combo is using the Dumble Lead in here, backing off the guitar volume control for a cleaner sound, and then kicking in that Crowther hotcake block over here. I've got that panning 2290 back on there, and we will revisit that glitch delay with one of the pitched reverbs in just a second. Check this out. Now I have included my personal favorite amp in here, the USA Lead mid-gain. There is a lead version and a chunky version in there, so you don't have to play around with doing all the Mark Series specific things, like setting the output EQ, setting the bass, middle, and treble for a kind of clear, articulate distortion. You can, of course, just use these as starting points, but I'll let you hear the Mark IV lead. I'll change out from this everyday plate to some of these early SPX reverbs in here that are based on the early reflection sounds you can get out of some of the old Yamaha processors. They're really, really good for just kind of fattening up dirty guitars. And let's pair that with a multi-tap delay. I've got my main live lead delay in here. I should mention as well, anytime you see these kind of bars at the start of an effects block, that's something you're going to want to route in parallel. But for now, let's just start off with this Leon's lead here. I'll bypass it. I'll let you hear how this kind of thickening effect works using these early SPX reverbs. At the opposite end of that scale on dirty guitars is this PCM rich plate. I did my best to match the reverb settings here to the Lexicon PCM 70 rich plate preset in there, which is one of my favorite reverbs on dirty guitars. So there's lots of fun to be had in the reverb block. The multi-tap delay block has some really straightforward lead delays. There's some combinations between chorus and delay. There's some quad chorus sounds like this one right here that I've just called chorus, as you can see. Let's hear that. You can, of course, use the chorus block for chorusing. I know, what a wild idea. A lot of these are matched to hardware examples. So for example, one of my favorites in here, the Boss Dimension C Mode 3. Big shout out to my buddy Nicholas over in Sweden who did all the heavy lifting with this. I had a Boss Dimension C pedal that we measured and we were able to get here. This paired up with, say, a pitch block doing one of these Eventide style detunes. For example, take the H3000 number 231, which is matched to a real Eventide H3000. You have an amazing 80s style clean. Now there's examples for nearly every block in here, so I would highly encourage you to have a play around and explore. A few other ones that I find really useful would be this parametric EQ kind of pickup converter. If you've got a humbucker, currently got this guitar in humbucker mode and you want to take it to a single coil, try this one. This one actually works pretty well if you don't have a coil tap on your guitar. There's also the option to go from a single coil sound to a humbucker sound in there as well. So that one is very, very handy. If you wanted to try, say, emulate a Rockman clean sound for a DI style sound, you can do that as well. Just click on the filter block and I've got a little Rockman clean preset in here for you all to try out. So the way I would run this would be to bypass the amp block and probably run it in parallel. So let's set that amp block to mute input. I'd run up into the filter block. I would then run that into the compressor block. So let's choose another comp and maybe let's go for this fat and squishy comp and I would run that down into some chorus. I could use this parametric EQ to convert my humbucker sound to a single coil sound as well, which I will do. And finally, if you're playing in a loud live context with a lot of gain, I'll let you hear this USA lead mid-gain. There is a parametric EQ block in here that I've got dialed in. Basically, I just call it live EQ loud. It's got some high and low cuts baked into it. I like using that and then a little bit of the multiband compressor on this Titan setting here to just kind of tighten up the low end chug. be using these blocks in a lot more videos here on the channel going forward, as well as on my channel, which you can follow by clicking the link in the video description. Again, these blocks are linked in the video description. I would love to hear from all of you if you get a chance to try them out. Consider them starting points to make your life easier when you're dialing in tones. And in my opinion, even if you don't like the sounds, you might be inspired to build up your own blocks library and use it the way that I do. It's one of the best features in Axe Edit, and it is a great way to make the most out of your Fractal device. Any other questions or comments, let me know in the comments section below. Have a great day, and I look forward to another year of Tuesday Tone Tips. Take it easy.